What's up, guys? Welcome back to Mike Yourself. And I just wanted to do a different intro this time just because I'm going to change up the format of the channel a little bit. I'm really still trying to figure out like what it is that makes me happy to provide content and all that kind of good stuff, right? You know, I did this not to make a business out of it. I did this because I like sharing information and, you know, I like watching YouTube videos. So I think it'd be great if I could produce something that you all enjoy watching. So, again, but I got to enjoy doing it myself. So anyhow, what we're going to be doing is essentially just kind of going through the things that I'm doing on my bikes. I'm limited on what I can do just because of where I'm located at, some of the tools that I have, and even experience, right? But my goal is to at least hopefully motivate some of you guys to do the things that I do and not take your bike somewhere else to get it done. There are quite a few things that I'd still love to do myself that I know I'm capable of, but unfortunately, again, due to location, I can't do, but I'm hoping to resolve that in the future. So that said, let's just jump into what we're doing today and have some fun. Check it out. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do today, it's gonna be a mixed bike day. This is gonna be kind of like a bling bling episode, to be quite honest, plus a repair that we're gonna do, and a little bit of a story I have for our Road King Blue. Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there. Anyhow, so if you watched the last video, you know I swapped out the bars to some chrome apes. We went 14-inch. And the mirrors, these mirrors, I love this style or whatever, but it just doesn't jive with kind of the bar setup and everything. So what I want to do is switch them out to chrome. But as I mentioned in that video, I think that it's not gonna flow well if I have black handles and black grips or whatever. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna swap out the mirrors and the levers here. And we're gonna try out some levers that I got, some chrome levers from Amazon, dirt cheap. Guys, I'm not made of money, so you know I build on a budget, man. And I get like some people are like, oh, you got to get the most expensive stuff or whatever, and that's great if you got the money, man. But if you don't, do what do what you got to do. And I get it. Like everybody will justify whatever it is. This is how I'm living my dream. So come along for the ride. Anyhow, so we'll go over like I'll just take this off and we're going to talk about it. So it's not going to be so much a how-to anymore. I didn't want to do that in the first place like crazy. So it's just more building with Mike, I guess. I don't know, man. So let's go ahead and let's pull the levers off. Using my high-grade Harbor Freight deal. And I'm not knocking Harbor Freight. They've got tools, most of my tools, probably from Harbor Freight. Oh, this one's working. Look at that. Harbor Freight coming through clutch. Boom. All right. So there you go. So as you can imagine, these things, man, they go flying. I don't know if it matters as long as the diameter is the same, but so the kit I was talking about through Harbor Freight is I think they're called E-clips. So they look like a little, almost like a C, but they also have like a tooth in the middle. Hence E-clip, right? So check them out. Oh, I'm gonna have to move the mirror. Pull the pin, and then that should, I think, allow us to just go ahead and pull that off or pull that out of there. I'm not sure. And I got the manual sitting like literally right over there. But I'm gonna ignore it and just try to see if I can figure out how to tear this apart. But what I'm finding right now is it looks like I might have to loosen up or take off the backside of the housing, is my guess. So we're just doing the cover, so I'm not too worried. If we have to pull this thing, like the cover off of that, got to definitely cover the tank because that front plate, man, is friggin' heavy. It's like the tank killer. That thing will definitely dent your tank. Dude, it's a lot of work just to get the friggin'... Maybe I should have looked at the book. All right, so I think we're gonna have to take off the doohickey-mabob there, fancy term. Let's get the mirror out of the way. At least that's one less thing to worry about. Don't lose your washers. Oh man, all right, gotta cover the tank. So I think this is also T25 too, man. Yeah, cool. All right, I'm gonna try loosening it. Maybe that'll, like if I just loosen it, maybe that'll help. I think that might have done it. Is there like another pin or something in there? Like, what the hell, man? Oh, there goes the grip. All right. Still being stubborn. Don't want to take it off. There we go. Got the back side off of that. The good thing is these screws should be captive. Yep, cool. Shouldn't have to worry about that. All right. So now I got to compare. Because I don't know if those things say if they're left or right. There's a number in this. But it don't look like it says left or right. So hopefully it's friggin' obvious. Or maybe they're the same. I don't know. Let's check it out. All right, so here's our stock one, and like I said, I don't see any numbers. I mean, there's numbers, but there's nothing that says left or right. So let's see here. So like I said, these were bought right off of Amazon. They were like under 20 bucks or right at 20 bucks. They're chrome. That's what I wanted. So those don't look the same. So this must be for the clutch side. There we go. There's some slight difference there. I don't know if you can see that, like where this curves in. This is a little bit deeper. This is 003L. I don't know. Well, let's see how easy it goes on. Hopefully it's not loose or goofy or anything like that. Let's put it on. All right, so let's see here. So it went there. Let's drop the pin in. And yeah, now we gotta just tighten it all up. So this is like, I don't know if you guys, hopefully you can see that. That's one of these, that's one of the switches there you want to watch out for. And then there's a pin to push the master cylinder in there. So just be careful, man, because you can break those things. And I don't know how, this one seems like it would be easier to change if they just sell this alone. But I can tell you, like on my 95 Fat Boy, that thing was a nightmare if you needed to change that out. So hopefully you don't have to do that. Let's put that backing on, and then we can jump over to the clutch. Let's see here. All right. chrome. Q. And then, of course, since we loosened everything, we're gonna have to readjust, find that sweet spot, but I wanna do that with the mirrors on anyways. So it'll make sure we're in the right place. Go from there. So this one fits good, man. Like, there's no problems here. Let's get the mirror, put that on, and we'll jump over to the clutch side. All right, so I got the new mirror in place. I didn't have washers that were chromed or whatever to go with these, but the black ones look fine. They just sit right on top, so you don't really see it. But these ones, they had like a small acorn. I think that's an acorn nut, right? Where the other ones were much deeper. And trying to put this on, there's a huge gap, so you could either put a spacer there, or I'm just going to switch to this, and we get the same output, right? So go ahead and put that lock washer on. We're just going to do this stuff finger tight. Like I said, still got to do my adjustments. All right, cool. Let's do the clutch side. All right, let's see. Do it again for me, baby. Harbor Freight. I'll lower this. Nope, that's all the way down now. Shoot. Yeah, boy. I don't want to lose the other one. So I got to make sure. Don't forget to put them back on. Get that out of the way. Let's see. Maybe we'll get lucky on this one. Oh, yeah. Nice. All right, that was much easier. Whew, nice. So I don't know, man, 20 bucks, dude. Now, again, there's two switches down here. I'm gonna see if I can get you there so you can see it. Let's take you off the tripod there. So in here you got that one there and that one there. So just be careful, man. Like, you don't want to break those. So I'm gonna go kind of very carefully put that in there and there. Make sure it's all lined up. But if you look too, like, this guy's wobbly. So you want to just make sure you're careful that when you push it in, it doesn't push it inward. And then you're not pushing on the master cylinder for your hydraulic clutch. That'll be a problem. Anyhow, yeah, let's get you back over to here. All right. Then I am gonna put, it looks like there was some grease there. I think you're supposed to put some grease on there. I'm gonna run some silicone grease really quick. Probably should have did the other side. That's a miss on my part. Down that side. Rub it in the pinhole too. Maybe I'll rub it on the pin or something, I don't know. Grab my pin. All right, so make sure we're good there. All right. All right, so I got that resistance. I would imagine if you like messed up that setting or whatever, the flexi pin, that it probably wouldn't push back. So I think we're good. So now I just got to do those stupid little clips. But good thing I've got the Harbor Freight freaking champ right now. And then I can do this mirror, and then we'll set the hand controls. So let's see how easy this is going on. right, so let's get this thing kind of in the right place. Sorry for the noise in the background because I'm living life, man. I got laundry to do. Let's see here. Snug that up just a little bit. What's also nice about being on the scissor jack is you can kind of get comfortable in where you ride, your riding position, and be able to adjust stuff or whatever it is. So that's really cool. All right. So I think the clutch side, that kind of worked out, man. We lucked out on that one. This side feels good. I think we're where I want it there. So let's go ahead and tighten all these little T25s down, and then we can tighten down the mirror. I think that's gonna work out. That actually, so I had tried my mirrors on before I put before ordering the chrome levers, and I didn't like the look, man. It looked like it stood out, right? Like it was just like this little sea of just all powder black coated stuff, and then this, a wild hair of chrome. And now with that, it just flows better. I like the qualities. I think I'm gonna give me a pair for our Road King. That's gonna work. The fitment's good. I hope this brand, which is probably some random knockoff brand, makes them for the 07. All right, so let's talk about what we're gonna do to blue. I didn't write blue in just because, I got a pretty quiet neighborhood, so I respect my neighbors, and blue is loud. So unless I'm gonna take off, I usually try not to start her up. But we're fixing, well, before we get into the fix problem, let's talk about what we're doing as far as just throwing some bling on blue. So the tail light, as you know, if you've been watching the videos, I moved the license plate down and with the license plate conversion, and swapped out the tail light with an LED version. But this is a Vikla, man. Like, I got to get some more chrome on this thing. So we got a chrome tail light cover that we're going to put on. This is super simple. It's 2 screws. It utilizes the same screws that you already have. So nothing complex there. And then let me tell you what happened. So about a week after I got my saddlebags color matched, I went for a ride to a city out here in San Diego County area, whatever you want to call it, called Campo. And the ride that I took is a road that kind of goes along the border of California and Mexico. It's a really, really nice ride. You can actually see kind of the fence or whatever up, in the mountains and stuff, but a lot of twisties, and it's cool. It's a chill ride, so I love it. During that ride, my air suspension, I have a gauge that I was using to monitor the pressure, and the bracket that I put it on broke. Now, the problem with that is the gauge was by the engine, so when it broke, it swung down and the engine made contact with the airline, depleting the air. During my ride, I realized, or I felt that the ride was a little rougher. I thought maybe it was just because of my cheap eBay seat, and I was kind of cursing it a little bit. And the ride was about like 2.5 hours, so it wasn't too long of a ride, but I just kept thinking to myself, man, this is a crappy ride as far as the comfort, but I was so fixated on just the scenery that I wasn't actually thinking through that my air had gone down. So as you can imagine, air suspension totally lowered, hitting twisties. I scraped the bottom of my bags. So I had to take those off. I already did touch up paint on those. But what I'm looking to do is improve the suspension a little bit. So how are we gonna do that? The air suspension or the Monroe shocks that this thing comes with, they have essentially a male insert, I don't know what the hell you want to call it. it's male where you connect, right? And they come with these like plastic little compression fitting type stuff, and there's an O-ring. So you basically kind of put your hose through there, which is 1/8 OD line, and I know some people use 1/4 inch and whatever it is. There's benefits to all of them. I just used whatever it came with, but essentially you put it through, you tighten it down, and that creates the seal. These things are notorious for going bad. If you've been in muscle cars for a long time and you've done the air suspension in the back, you guys know the same thing. So I'm gonna try to do something a little bit different. What I went out and bought is some brass fittings to eliminate those, but then I'm gonna bring in some push to connect. Now push connects also fail. The nice thing is you can buy a whole bunch of these, and these things are hard to find. I don't know what it is. They're just not readily available for whatever reason. So I got these from Home Depot, and it's like, so these are 1/8 MIP, 1/8 FIP. So the M is for male and the F is for female. So one side's a male, one side's a female. And yeah, I just kind of went in there and kind of made sure it fit. We're gonna get some Teflon tape to put on here too, just to make sure we have the best seal possible. And hopefully that'll improve or decrease the number of opportunities we have for leaks. So let's get to work. Well, actually, let's make sure this thing fits. Oh, no way, it doesn't fit, dude. That sucks. So this extra piece here, it doesn't fit inside, so I can't get it to go all the way on. It will fit these threads, but that piece is in the way. So that's kind of botched up my whole plan. Dude. All right, so since my air ride fix thing was such a bust, and oh man, I'm bummed out about it. I really want to find a better option or whatever, and not having an air ride isn't an option for me on this bike because that's what it's all about for this one. So I don't know, I'll figure it out. But as I'm putting this on, it reminded me of something that annoys the hell out of me. So I switched over from the 1/4 turn fasteners to the screw-in style, and it drives me nuts, man. Like I had some like skull cool looking things that you turn, but not a whole lot of room, and they weren't always like, it hurt like to put them on and turn them off or take them off. These ones I love because they're the same ones that are on my Road Glide, but the lever's so long it hits there. So I'm gonna mark it, man. I'm gonna grind this thing off. So side project. All right, let me get a marker. All right, so you know, I gotta call this out. I've got some amazing children, and one of my children bought me a grinder, benchtop grinder for my birthday. Something I've needed for a long time. So, you know, blessed, man. So I'm gonna try to grind this off and see if that works. I don't know if maybe a hacksaw would be a better idea. I don't know. So let me throw some gloves on so that way I don't end up burning my hands. All right, I'm gonna have to cut this. This thing is yeah, it'll take. I mean, that's solid. I thought it was gonna be hollow, so I'm gonna just take a hacksaw and cut that off. Hopefully that'll be pretty quick, and then I can jump back on the grinder to smooth out the surfaces so they're not as sharp. But man, I can feel it. It's pretty warm. All right, got it cut off. I started with the hacksaw, and then I was like, you know what? I don't have patience, so I used the cutting wheel on my grinder It's an angle grinder with a cutting wheel on it, and so yeah, we'll smooth it out here on this grinder here, just to make sure these edges are nice and smooth, so that way we won't cut our hand or anything when we're tightening or loosening it. There you go. So let's go try putting it on, see how it does. Gonna have to leave my gloves on because this thing's friggin' hot. All right, let's put it on. Look at that, nice. And I still got like the tab to be able to spin it, so it makes it a little bit easier. Bam, hell yeah. There we go. Improvements. All right, so this should just fit like that right over. So I think all we need to do is pull out the screws. It came with some extra screws, but I don't know if we're gonna need those. Guess we'll find out, huh? I'm gonna do a quick compare on the length of these screws versus the screws that little chrome dealio came with, and see if there's a huge difference. Maybe that's the need. Oh, I got some like little gasket thingies in there too. I don't know what the heck those are for. Like why you would need those. They're just a tiny bit longer. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with those new ones then. Let's do that. Probably end up going back to my stock light until I can find another one. I was kind of thinking about maybe getting one where it's got like the integrated turn signal in it. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think of that one? Anybody have any feedback or experience with that particular model? I don't know if it's even plug and play. That would be cool. So we'll get this in, snug it up. What I don't want to do is crack this thing. Now the only downside so far is because those things are way in there, it's a little harder to see the screw. That's cool. You know, I was kind of, so there is another model that has a hole on the top. So like if you still have your license plate up here, the LED that's supposed to illuminate it could actually do that because of the hole. This one is filled in. It's got these little fake louvers or whatever you want to call them on there, but that's just cosmetic design. But I don't know, man. I kind of like it. It actually came out a little bit better than I thought. And too bad the bike's dirty. All the stupid rain and everything. Good deal. Well, let me put my seat back on and call this a wrap for today. Nothing else, but, oh yeah, hey, let me show you guys. So yeah, like, so these are the ones that came with the bike, and I took them off and polished them, and they've kind of dulled, you know, over time here. But yeah, I think this would definitely, I mean, the chrome bars with the chrome mirror, I gotta go with chrome levers, right? Like I'm lacking. So I need to fix that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, get those ordered. Hopefully that same company that I got the other one. Now the big difference, of course, is this is a clutch cable. It's not a hydraulic cable. So that is one of the major differences. And then I noticed when I was doing the search for the other ones that a lot of them, went up to like 2006. So I don't know, like 2007 seems to be this kind of special year or something. I know it's the transition from the 5-speed to the 6-speed transmission, but I don't know what else. So maybe you guys know. If you do, share it. I'd like to hear it. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go on the search. I'm gonna get me some chrome levers. We'll throw that on maybe in the next week or so. We'll see. All right. So let me go ahead and get wrapped up, and then we'll wrap up this video. All right, guys. So that's going to be a wrap for this week's video. Let me know what you think of the new format. It's kind of just more like hanging out with me. And as I do things, and I'm just going to chat a little bit and Maybe it might be like, hey, Mike, you talk too much, or whatever it is. Maybe it's just do what you're doing. We don't care what you got to say. We just want to see you do it. I don't know, whatever it is, man. Give me your feedback. I'm trying to find myself in this world of YouTube videos and content creation. So appreciate any help you can give me. So until my next video, I hope to see you in the win.